Welcome everyone to the Lower Central Gardens Trust Board. Even though we're all here, I will ask the Dynamic Public Service Officer to confirm any apologies for the meeting.
Thank you, Chair. No, we haven't received any apologies.
Perfect. And are there any declarations of interest that need to be made in respect of any of the items on the agenda? Take that as a no. If anything comes up, you can bring that up later on. We'll circulate a copy of the minutes was circulated. Just want to make sure that there's that everyone's happy with the minutes, and if anyone's prepared to propose them. All want to propose. Bernadette proposed, Lauren second, and I think we have consensus on that. So, sorry. Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. Please note that this meeting is being recorded by the Council for live broadcast and will be published on the Council's website for a minimum of 6 months. The meeting may also be recorded or streamed for live or subsequent broadcast by members of the public, although ultimate discretion in this matter lies with the Chair in case of disruption. For those in the room, please note that if the fire alarm sounds, please exit the building by way of your nearest available signed fire exit route and make your way to the assembly point at the War Memorial in the gardens opposite the front of the building in Bourne Avenue. Finally, please ensure background noise is kept to a minimum and mobile phones and other devices are turned off or switched to silent for the duration of the meeting. For those in the room, this includes turning off microphones and turning the volume down completely on your laptops. Thank you.
So I'd like to invite Stephen White to present the financial statements for 24-25.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Okay, excuse me, I will go through the 4 appendices that relate to the accounts. So Appendix 1 is the charity accounts themselves. So I will now summarise the financials. These are broadly the same as 23-24. So total income was just shy of 1.08 million. This was an increase of £33,000 from 23-24. Expenditure was 1,811k, 1.8 million. This was an increase of just under 59,000 from 23-24. The donation from the council was 391k. This is an increase of just under £2,000 from 23-24. Looking at the trading income, which excludes the BCP donation and depreciation, was £687,500, as an increase on over 23-24 of just under £32,000. This increase in the trading income came predominantly from the Arts by the Sea Festival. The trading expenditure, this excludes depreciation, was 1,077k, a slight increase over 23-24 of nearly 22,000. The net increase in the trading expenditure came predominantly from the Arts by the Sea Festival, which is an increase of 43. Now that was partly offset by a reduction in commercial operations of 33,000. So the sort of net trading overspend was 389.5k, which is a decrease from 23-24 of just under £10,000. And then quick comment: the fixed assets, the fixed assets were revalued for an extra nearly 5.5 million. However, this was offset by an equal increase in the endowment fund and the restricted income funds. The endowment, the endowment fund cannot be spent as an income, nor can it be disposed of. And the valuers this year, or the council valuers, it was the RICS approved Lambert Smith Hampton. That is a whistle-stop tour of the accounts, Appendix 1. Shall I move on to Councillor, or?
Are there any questions at this point? No, move on to 2, yeah.
Okay, thank you. So Appendix 2 is the letter of representation. This is a standard audit requirement in which the trustee attests to the accuracy and completeness of the information provided to the auditors for their analysis. Appendix 3 was the audit findings. The first page is in the conclusion section. The audit opinion will be unmodified. So an unmodified opinion is in effect a green audit. The outstanding matters that were raised there, the management letter of representation, the signed financial statements, and the letter of comfort, they will either be signed, hopefully by Councillor Hadley, and the Section 151 officer has also signed the comfort letter. So all of those matters will be dealt with. There were 3 audit findings, 2 of which we've had before, which is the ledger system and the VAT. It's the council acknowledges the ledger system, excuse me, and how the council the charity trades in the council system, the council is aware of and accepts the inherent risk, and this has been set up since the inception of the charity. And with the VAT, again, it's a similar thing. The council is aware, and we accept the risk. There was a different, an extra finding, the reimbursement of expenses, and I would just like to pass over to my colleague Helen to provide a brief answer to that one. Thank you.
So this was on the invoicing of electricity. So there was a miscommunication between the departments on the invoicing, which led to a delay. That has all been settled. So going forward, the events team will now manage the invoicing of the electricity along with the general contract management. This is the case for general events, so it will go onto the established tracker of payments to resolve that one. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And then finally, Appendix 4, this is the comfort letter. This shows the council donation for the years 24-25 and prior year 23-24, and also that the council will continue to support the trust for at least 12 months following the date of the signing of the accounts. And this support is sufficient to meet the operating deficit of the charity, and it also confirms to the auditor that there have been no subsequent events affecting the charity that need to be brought to their attention. That is all. Thank you, Councillor.
Are there any questions from councillors? I have a question that's been sent in by another councillor that you're aware of, but I'll read it out when I find it. So, a good question from Councillor Steve Bartlett. Within the annual accounts, costs associated with the pavilion area are shown, but income is not. It's understood that the pavilion is operated by BH Live, and BH Live pays the council a management fee, plus a share of profits arising from BH Live's operational council assets, and this includes the pavilion. However, the pavilion is owned by the Lower Gardens Trust Board. Hence, so the suggestion is that any revenue received by the council in respect of the pavilion, I'm trying to understand why it's not included in the Lower Gardens accounts, and you've got an explanation, I believe.
Okay, thank you, Councillor. Excuse me. So the trust does own the pavilion, correct? However, there is only the pavilion. Sorry, the trust only deals with the council, and it has a lease. It has leased the pavilion to the council for nil consideration, and this is in the accounts on page 14 of the accounts. I can.
Yeah.
Where are we?
So
it says in that, yep, that there is a brief, there's a section headed tangible fixed assets and depreciation, and it is halfway down in there. And there is a separate arrangement between the council and BH Live, but because the council and BH Live trade separately themselves, and the Lower Gardens only trades with the council, therefore any arrangements between the council that affects BH Live is not part of the Lower Gardens, because it is a separate legal, there's 3 separate legal entities. So it's the Lower Gardens lease to the council at £0 for consideration. The income that is received from the council for the Lower Gardens will be the net of the trading and the donation to cover the maintenance costs of the asset.
So is everyone satisfied with that as a response? Yeah.
Yeah, what is the length of that lease? What is the arrangements for that lease with the pavilion? Is it just in perpetuity?
I don't know, councillor. I will find out, but I'm unsure. Sorry.
If everyone's happy to move forward and to sign that off, I essentially moving on to the future meeting dates and the work programme and things that we're looking to conclude. So who's introducing this?
Sorry, Chair.
Sorry?
I just wondered, do we need to vote on signing the accounts?
Oh. So do we need to? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll propose.
Jamie's happy to propose. We've got a seconder. And do we all accept the accounts? Yeah. So moving on to the next step and the future meeting dates and work programme. I've got you taking it on. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I have a couple of requests to put forward onto the work programme, if possible. So in March, I've been speaking with the Head of Democratic Services and Audit Manager about the process in which we go about appointing new co-opted members to the board. So with approval, I'd like to bring a report to the next meeting, which I believe is March, to outline that process and seek approval to proceed. I would also like to bring forward a meeting with my strategic green space lead to brief the board on our nature recovery strategy and our urban forest strategy, and what a future work programme may look like in relation to Lower Central Gardens with respect to both of those strategies, please.
Yeah, so just understanding in terms of is that just agreeing the process for the cooperative member, or is there someone in mind? Or?
Yes, that is. That will outline the process that we need to undertake and the timelines for that.
So she'll take those. Should we take those separately? So everyone's happy to discuss the co-option of additional members in March. March might be a surprise for you. That date's been brought forward. So yeah. So do you have a proposal for that?
Yeah. Can I just ask a question?
Yeah, go on.
I know it's like a question before the discussion in March. Is that, you said needed? Is it mandatory?
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you're still happy to propose?
Oh, what, yeah, we can discuss
Chair.
it.
Yeah, we've been without an independent member for quite some time. I think people have forgotten, but we've always had one. As long as
I think two is two.
We should, if possible, get 3.
3.
Mm-hmm.
3
Yeah.
members. Yes. Excellent. So happy to move that forward and to look towards having a meeting our trust deed obligations on that.
Thank you.
You didn't have a seconder. Do we have, sorry, seconder. And is there consensus for that? Perfect. Green space recovery, which I guess is pertinent in respect of the area around the ice rink. Is that the handout, or is that?
No, it's to give you an overview of council adopted policies, but actually how they would then relate to Lower Central Gardens and future ambitions, which the board might like to discuss ambitions around priorities in relation to nature recovery and our urban forest strategy.
Okay.
Will the strategy include some of the issues that were brought to us before and have been emailed as well to with regard to lighting and cutting back the trees so that it's easier?
Yeah, I think that's potentially what the discussion will open up is around potentially development of a future master plan and wider ambitions for the gardens. Previous master plan, I think, was last developed in 2010. So obviously does need refreshing. Okay.
I think that's important. I've had a couple of emails from people about the about cutting back of trees and accessibility. I assume people may have had the same, and so maybe if we can incorporate that into that as well. It's about access and cycleways and how safe people feel in the gardens as well. So.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. So potentially if I take that online with you, Chair, just to develop and agree a scope so that when officers do attend the board, they can come properly briefed to give you the most of the session. Okay.
So is everyone, have we got a proposer for that? We've got Bernadette, have we got a seconder for that? We've got Lawrence, and is there a consensus for that? Perfect.
So
one other thing in respect of the work programme in going forward, I know that obviously we've have the Winter Wonderland. We have a the mini golf, which has such an incredible turnover. Considering turning my own garden into a mini golf, whether or not we need to think about inviting some sort of summer event into the garden. We've not had anything. We've not had anything from Saventa in that respect. I know they obviously had the disappointment from last couple of years ago. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. At the moment, we haven't had any new requests in terms of a summer event from Saventa, but what I was going to propose was for that March meeting to also bring an update on the events programme for the year, including an update on the Art and Makers Market, which is an item we've discussed at previous meetings.
So I guess as a board, we've got nothing. Yeah. Do we want to be a bit more proactive than that, or are we happy with nothing? Jamie.
Yeah, I'd like to see more happening, but less damage when it does happen.
Yeah. I guess the thing is, in terms of building a consensus on that, is what sort of thing and how do we do it, and how do we get the people in to do that? Obviously, we had a skate park, but it sort of fell planning and it came quite close, or the outdoor cinema. And obviously there's no budget, so it's got to be something which is relatively self-funding. Are we able to explore anything like that as a committee offline, or in a separate Teams meeting, or might be worth considering trying to invite some people to come down to the bandstand and entertain us. Might be a thought. Okay.
Maybe something that doesn't involve, damaging the gardens when they're recovering something, because we can see what benefit the Arts by the Sea event was, and that was really lovely. And and the grass didn't have to be damaged. I completely understand the skate park was a lot of fun, and people loved it, and the grass will recover. But something alternative on the grass would be great for the summer, wouldn't it?
Yeah, so shall I propose that we, as a committee, hold a, I think we've done them in the past, have a meeting just to see if we can thrash some ideas together to try and add something to the programme. Yeah. Okay. Everyone happy with that? I'll propose it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll do that. I've got one more. Oh, one more, and that's the there's some folk who weren't quite paying all their rent in the account. How are we doing with them?
That's progressed. So we have an agreed repayment programme set up now.
Okay. Any more details on that?
I can circulate some details.
Perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely, I can talk to all board members. It was only just if have we reached AOB? Are we? Yeah. Okay.
No, so I was just thinking, so when I've got specific issues regarding like accessibility and stuff in the gardens with the toilets and so on and so forth, that's now being all incorporated into that. So that nature recovery strategy is becoming just a much bigger item.
I think that's the bit that we can take away and potentially scope with you. I have to be honest in terms of resourcing for officer time to do that master plan. That's quite an extensive piece of work, so I'll have to consider that as part of our environment service plan in terms of being able to allocate that resource. So it may be that we prioritise certain work streams within it, depending on the board's choices, but there are some key pieces we do need to bring forward as part of the urban forest strategy that we would want to talk to the board about as well. If we are talking about the public conveniences and others, then we'd need to bring in other areas within the team who manage those, because they sit outside mine and Amanda's direct control.
Or we're doing the programme now. If you want that in the March programme, you might want to add it, because then you could have someone else in the meeting.
Yeah, but I'm happy if that item is going to be scoped between now and March and that can be done, then I'm happy to feed that in and see where that sits.
The right officers are here. Yep.
And just one other thing, Chair, if that's okay. I think it was last January we talked about the tender process for the picnic park deli, and I'm just wondering where that sits now.
That's still got, I believe, another 8 year to run, but I'll take that offline and confirm and provide an update to the board on that one. Okay.
To move on to any other business.
It was just to provide an update as following the reports around the lighting in the gardens last time. So Chris took away to do a review and reported those defects through to the street lighting team. Chris's team are going to do another check this weekend. Last time 20 lights were reported for repair, which I believe have been undertaken, but we'll do another sweep to see if they are still working or whether they require further work. So we'll provide that update at the next board meeting as well.
Yeah, because I did raise with you after, because I think some were raised at that meeting, but almost immediately after that meeting, more went out, and some are still out down there. So yeah, that'd be appreciated to have a look.
Yeah, that's great. I think when I say 20, that was lower and central gardens, but it's a significant number.
Is there any other business?
Oh. I mean, maybe we could discuss this, but obviously I raised with you, Chair, if we bring that May meeting to March, then it looks a bit light from May through to next Jan. So I just wondered if something could go in September time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we'll probably have quite a bit on the agenda then for March that would then need a subsequent meeting to get the detail in. The reason for bringing the meeting forward into the March was to give you an earlier heads up of the events programme, etc. We felt leaving it to May was too late to keep the board informed, hence the move.
So is the events programme rough? I mean, I imagine, you know, given the amount of planning and stuff has to be done, that's something that could almost be circulated to the board members relatively soon, I guess, before the meeting.
Yes, Chair, we can provide something before the March meeting. It might also help the discussion that you'll be having around other items that you might like to see come forward, so we can get that shared.
And can we just note the dates of the future meetings?
Yeah, so we've obviously got the one in May scheduled at the moment, but we're going to go offline to arrange March, and I'll finalise that this week. And then after that one, we've obviously just talked about possibly getting one in for September, and then after that it's the 25th of January 2027.
Yeah, if we could have if we can agree the March meeting, and then I think if we have that meeting and then officers can consider what's been agreed and do a work programme to work out what's the best timeline to report them back onto the board on progress or any subsequent meetings or walkarounds that we want to do to help inform those pieces of work, that'd be great. Thank you.